Hey guys, my name's Dean. I'm going to make this YouTube channel as a reminder of my running journey, from where it started to where it is now, and hopefully somewhere good in the future. Um, so, on March 5th, I said me and my partner Liv, went up to Orange, the Orange Running Festival. I participated in the marathon, 42.2 Ks, and Liv did the half marathon, 21.1. I've got a few things to say about this. The race started at 7 a.m. for myself, 7:30 for the half marathon. Temperature wise, would have been about 15 degrees in the morning. When we got there around 6:30, would have been a max of 29 degrees. It doesn't seem that bad, not to me anyway, being Western Sydney of Australia. But the humidity was about 95% on that day. 95% humidity, 15 to 29 degrees throughout the day, no cloud coverage. It was just brutal sun, tough conditions. 900 to 1,000 meters above sea level. Now I'm used to 0 to 100 meters, basically the most oxygen you can get. There is a difference being at elevation. 1,000 meters is roughly 3,000 feet, something like that, above sea level. During this race, there was between 280 to 300 meters of elevation gain. So it's not flat; it's rolling hills the whole way. It was all on the road, but tough conditions, rolling hills. Half the race was pretty much into a headwind, like directly into it, not left, right, or on a 45 degrees. It was like smack straight through wind. And for the marathon distance, the way the course was set out, the last remaining 18 kilometers of this run was just basically a straight line, along one of Orange's main roads. Now you'd think 18 Ks to go in marathons the hardest 18 Ks to do, let alone on rolling hills, directly into a headwind. I think the wind was around 15 to 20 Ks per hour, just to give you a bit of insight. Doesn't make it any easier, whether it's 5 Ks, 30 Ks per hour winds. Wind is wind, and it's tough. The other thing with this race that made it hard, besides the elevation gain over the course, besides 1,000 meters above sea level, 95% humidity, up to 29 degrees Celsius, all playing a factor. Limited aid stations for water. Dehydration was a big thing throughout all the races. On Sunday, the 5th of March, there was the 5K, 10K, 21 full marathon. The aid stations mostly went towards the 5 and 10Ks. Even though they're the shorter distances, you don't need as much water to stay hydrated on those runs. The half marathoners were complaining a little, because after the sort of 10K course, you could say, there wasn't many aid stations at all. I'd have to estimate maybe every 5 to 7 Ks. Definitely not any earlier than every 5 Ks. And if you're not carrying a hydration vest or anything on that with you, you're going to be struggling with a cup of water or electrolytes, and half that spills out anyway when you go and try and grab it at the aid station. So you're only getting half a cup of liquids at minimum every 5 Ks. It's not enough. Not when you're pushing max effort. Even if you're not pushing max effort, if you're running 3, 4, 5, even 6 hours, at a slow rate, it's just not enough. For the marathon, it would have been around the 20k mark. The marathoners had to take a right-hand turn, and the half marathoners had to turn left toward the start line. So the marathoners had a little bit extra road to cover, separate course. Alright, in this extra bit of road, when we turned right at the 20k mark, there was about 10k's worth of road with two aid stations. 3 at most, but that 3, if you pulled out 12k's worth of road, there'd be 3. But in this 10k period, there was about 2 aid stations, and that's from 20 to 30k's. You're very dehydrated at this point. It's tough. On those 2 aid stations when I was running, I pretty much had to stop and grab 2 cups and just, tip it up, throw it down the back of the throat, because it's just terrible. Just so dehydrated. One would be water, the other one would be electrolyte. Not that it made much of a difference in the hydration. Probably should have carried a vest, or even just stopped and sculled, 500, 600 mils. But that would have led to a worse time, worse finish, all that stuff that you race for. During the race, it didn't go to plan. Now, I was aiming for a respectable 2 hours 35 minute pace race. I ended up finishing with a 2:48. That's 13 minutes difference. What went wrong? Well, nothing went right. Let's just say the first 9k's, feeling good, feeling alright, prepared, well rested. But at that 9k mark, out of nowhere, the quads, boom, blew up, gone. 9k's into a marathon. 9k's into a half marathon would be terrible. I have 33k's to go at that point. My quads are gone. So at that moment, I thought, great, it's going to be a mental battle just to finish. It's going to be a 33k mental challenge to finish this race. Yeah. I wanted to pull out 9k's. I didn't. I finished. Finished the Orange Marathon. Anyway, for the next 3 kilometres up to the 12th kilometre, I was out in front first. The first 12k's. That's where second place caught me. Zach, great guy. He overtook me at 12k's, and that's where everything really started to go to crap. There were some rolling hills, a couple of turns, and headwind, you name it. It was all going on. Zach started slowly pulling away. I tried to hold with him. I knew I wasn't going to survive if I did, but I was just hoping it was going to be a couple of K's worth of, not actual physical challenges. It was just in my head, and I could maybe push through it. So I stuck with him for the next 5k's, and there was history after that. Let's just say he started to pull away, and I slowed down rapidly. 17k's would be 12 plus 5 is 17, right? So at that point, I thought, where's third place? Now I'm sitting in second, where's third? We did a turn around, head straight back into a headwind. As I've done this turn, I could see third place, 100 metres, 200 metres behind me at most. It was just a waiting game of when he's going to catch up, because he looked good, he looked strong, and I was struggling to to move my legs. Terrible. This is just my quads at the moment. I held on to second space until 23 k's. 23k. That was the marathon's last turnaround point. 23 k's in, hamstrings, both of them from the kneecap to the lower glute, all the way up, gone. Felt cramps in different spots, right underneath the glute, in between the glute and hamstring. You've got your sort of your hip bone right in there, where the tendons are, all the way down to the back of the knee. I remember there was about 4 or 5 different spots sort of plopped all over the place, and it was just cramping ridiculously on both legs. Calves just shot to shit, really, screaming at me, and then another K in the glute started to burn. I did a park run on the Saturday before, and my lower glute decided to fire. I've never had that sort of issue before, so I thought, great, this is going to be some troubles on Sunday. And sure as shit, 23 plus K in, it all went to crap. So quads are burning, blowing up, calves and hamstrings are cramping. I'm waiting for them to basically stretch too much, and anyway. So about 26 k's in, 27 k's in, that's when third place finally overtook me. So I held on for a little bit longer than what I thought. 27 k's, you still got 15k to go. So I was in third spot for the last 15 k's. At that point, it was just a challenge to finish. I just wanted to finish. My goal was to finish first with a time of 2:35. But with everything going wrong, I just wanted to get to the finish line. I don't care if I was going to come last. I didn't want to walk, because if I walked, I would have stopped. There was no way of starting again. So I just took baby steps, really, plodded along, and kept breathing in this strong wind. Humidity, terrible. Kept thinking, where's fourth? Where's fourth? When's he going to catch up? When's he going to overtake? Fifth wasn't far behind fourth when I seen them at different turnaround spots along the course. So I was figuring once third overtook, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, they'd all start rolling in, right? And I'd end up going from first to 40th, 50th, whatever. Wouldn't have mattered. So that was always in the back of my mind. Just after this 27k mark, it's sort of where we ran into the other half marathoners, probably the middle to back end of the pack of the half marathoners. So anyone that was around, you don't know if they were marathoners, half marathoners. At this point, the 5 and 10k guns have gone off, so you got runners all over the place. Unless you're going to look behind you and see what their bib is, which isn't ideal because you want to be looking where you're running. So thankfully, no one overtook me, so I didn't have to have that worry. Was this the fourth place marathon runner kicking me out of the third spot podium? I held on. Just after the 30k mark is when I would have been 35. 35 k's in is where I would have ran past my partner Liv, who was in the half marathoner. As soon as I caught up, I just said, look, I'm effed, I'm gone, I'm ratchet, I'm struggling bad, really. And she said, you're third, keep pushing, get to the end, don't stop. She said that for me, but she was just as buggered herself. She had to stop at every aid station and take drinks because of how limited the aid stations were. There weren't many of them, and there weren't many cups on the tables either. Thanks for all the volunteers, but there definitely should have been a lot more. Seeing her at that point gave me a little bit of motivation to keep kicking. That's all I needed. Another 7k's to go. think shit, park running plus 2Ks. I didn't think I was going to get there, but I was going to try my best to get there for her, not for me, for her. I ended up running a 248. Liv ran a 247. 242, sorry, 242. So we almost ran for the same amount of time. So we both put in a massive effort on the day. Monday yesterday, Tuesday's today, and still feeling like crap. I did. Anyway, we'll get back to the race. Lower back, mid back, shoulders, and shoulder blades. They're all the upper body parts. Yeah, tight, sore, restricting my movement for the last 7Ks. You know, it was a full body workout now. You know, shoulders down to my feet, plantar fasciitis kicking in under both my feet. It was everything besides my head was physically troubled, and then my head was mentally troubled. Full body workout. I remember when I crossed the finish line, they read out third place marathoner Dean Robinson coming through. I thought, wow, great, fantastic, I've finished. Now I can get some water. All I want to do is stop and get some drink. I must have smashed a couple litres at least straight away at the finish line. But where they give you the medals as soon as you cross, I stopped and I had the wobbles. You know, if you've ever gone that hard and your legs are blown up and you stop, one, don't sit down because you'll never get back up. You want to keep the blood flow going to get out all the lactate crap in your legs. When you've got the wobbles, you feel lightheaded, you feel like you're going to faint, and you're about to fall over, and that's just about what I did. I didn't, but I was so close. I had to grab the lady giving out the medals by the shoulders to remain standing. I probably should have went and seen medical, but they weren't immediately available to me, and no one decided to go get them for me. Anyway, I'm alright. I'm all good now. The start of the race, though, was awesome. I seen my partner Liv at the very start sending us off. Was good. Also, two very good friends, Marlo and Lisa. They ran the half marathon as well, but they crossed the marathon border, you could say, between spectators and runners. They went underneath, said, "Good luck, Dane," massive smiles, handshakes, hugs, you name it. It was great. They were both there. That was sensational. It was a good start. So big shout out to Marlo, Lisa, and Liv. I also seen Lachlan at the end. He ran the half marathon. He didn't run his best race, but he ran well enough to pull out the victory. So shout out to Lachlan for running first in the half marathon. Still a very respectable time, sub 115, I think, sub 75, I believe it was. He can and will run faster than that. But there was another bloke when I crossed the finish line I was speaking to when I was waiting for Liv. Orange Running Club. There's an assistant director of this club that I was speaking to, and he was saying that he ran Mudgee Marathon a few years back, and I also ran the Mudgee Marathon last year in 22, which I won. I came first in that by 12 minutes. That's also 1,000 meters above sea level, hilly, about 470 meters elevation, so about 170 meters extra than this one. But it was 0 degrees on that day, no humidity. It was perfect running conditions, honestly. No wind, was good. But that was all on dirt trails, dirt road. So I was speaking with this assistant director, the Orange Running Club, and he said this Orange Running Festival is actually tougher than Mudgee, and I have to agree. I spoke to the first and second place runners of the marathon, spoke to Lachlan, who won the half marathon, and a few other random people, as well as the live results timing folk. And they all said Orange Running Festival is actually harder than people think, and it's 100% true, whatever it is. All of these factors put in one makes it tough. Nevertheless, I came third, so I took out the podium. It was a 33-kilometer mental battle. Legs felt like crap, couldn't walk. Got a 5-minute soft tissue massage at the end. Met a fantastic bunch of people there. It was good expo before and after the run, but just a challenging 42.2. Would I do it again? I would. Maybe a different distance, maybe the half. But we'll see. We'll see next year. So, the medal, orange. This is what the medal looks like for the Orange Running Festival. I actually really like it, Looks really nice. It's got 42.2 on it, so you know what distance you've done. 2023. What year? Orange Running Festival. So that's the finishers medal. Then I received 2 other things for coming in third. As soon as I crossed the finish line with the medal, they give me this. There you go, you can see that. Orange Running Festival, third marathon. Third overall, but third male. So they do male and female. I also give you this, which is absolutely fantastic. You can read that. Just here it says third place. Hopefully you can see that. Third place. I actually really like this trophy. So the trophy and the medal are fantastic, to be honest. The blacks, the oranges, the whites, it all works well. The only other thing I would like to have seen at the finish line is some fruit, hydration, and fruit, just to get the energy back into you, a bit of freshness. A lot of runs don't have fruit at the end, and I get disappointed every time, but some do. The next race I have coming up is the Canberra Times Marathon in April, start of April. The full marathon, 42.2 Ks, and I'll be the 3-hour pacer for that with the Sydney Striders. So that's a few weeks away. That'll just be good fun. I'll hope to take my camera on course. You can join in on the journey with that one. Should be a fun day. I've done it last year. It was my first official marathon I did in 22, where I ran 2:52. So again, sub 3. And since then, in the last 12 months, I've done quite a few races, 5s, 10s, 21s, 42s, and a 100k ultra trail marathon in Canberra, which I won as well. I won that. Practice the organizer of that. Sri Chinmoy is what it's called. 102, 103 Ks total I ran. And I beat second place, something ridiculous like 45 minutes, something like that. It was a massive, massive gap. So that was a hell of an experience. I didn't run properly for a few weeks, until 3 weeks at least. In that 3 week period, I did, walks and very slow recovery jogs only. That was it. Would I do that again? We'll see. But April, Canberra Times Marathon, 3-hour pacer, will be a fun day. So thanks for tuning in for this first video of the Orange Marathon. It wasn't hype and all exciting and edited, terrible with technology. So this is just one cut. That's it. No scripts, no whatever. Just a vlog, I guess. Alright, until the next one. See you guys.